Yo, yo, yo. What is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka Jay Phoenix, and this is going to be your astrology forecast for Monday, September 11th of 2023. Thank you all for joining me. Hope that you guys had a wonderful weekend. Got an interesting week ahead of us, moving into this new moon phase that we're going to be having. And yeah, so hopefully you guys have a wonderful Monday. Of course, it is September 11th. It's hard. I mean, at least if you're an American, it's hard not to acknowledge this day every time it comes around. So I want to say I was in fifth grade when 9/11 happened. So certainly we take time today to remember that tragedy, the people that were lost, the people that put their lives on the line to do the best and remedy that situation. The officers, the EMTs, the firefighters. Definitely a crazy day, regardless of all the crazy conspiracies and everything. Not crazy, but regardless of all the conspiracies and all the sort of stuff around it, it's still a day that will always live on in infamy. So definitely want to take time to acknowledge those that were lost and those families. So. All right. So let's hop into it. So, yeah, all right, guys, let's hop into it. So, right now, at the time of me making this, it's 9:53 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. A little bit later than I like to, but that's actually why the meditation is the way that it is today at the bottom. So, anyways, we do have the sun in Virgo here at 18 degrees. We do have the moon here in Leo at 10 degrees. So, this is nice. It's bringing some nice positive energy. The moon being here in Leo, it's going to conjunct Venus today. It's going to conjunct Juno today. Definitely going to be bringing some nice positive energy. I do want to talk about the sun a little bit, though, here. Now, it is still in, quincunx to Chiron. In fact, it's going to be mostly quincunx and Chiron throughout the day here at 18 degrees. 1 plus 8 is 9, and 9 is the number of Mars. Mars happens to be at 9 here, too. We have a harmonic of 9 energy. 1 plus 8 is 9. 1 plus 8 is 9. 9. We even have Mercury retrograde at 9. So that's why I put the meditation as reflect and consider where your actions are leading you. Because, Mars is all about that action that we take. And if we take a look at where all the 9 energy is, well, we have 2 of them here in Virgo, which is a very reflective time. Mercury being retrograde right now is a very reflective time where we kind of pause to kind of consider where we are right now in our day-to-day life, going through some mental paradigm shifts as well. And of course, the sun bringing light to this area. Mars, of course, here at 9 degrees of Libra, at least it's at a degree that it likes to be at, but it's in a sign that it would prefer not to be in. So we have to, it's one of those things where we kind of have to think before we jump, consider weighing, kind of weigh things out before we take some actions and consider where exactly our actions are going to lead us. Now, we don't want to get too indecisive, right? And just wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. And that's the thing about it, where you can get too indecisive. It's like going into a grocery store and having 20 different kinds of apples to pick from. Sometimes having so many things to pick from can be just as paralyzing and detrimental as only having like a couple. Feeling like, oh man, well, I only get like this one or these 2. And you have 20 apples to pick from, 20 different kinds of apples to pick from. And there's countless of apples out there. And then you're trying to figure out, all right, what does this one do? This one's semi-sweet. This one's very sweet. This one's more crispy. This one's more sour. And then you're like, well, what am I in the mood for? That's the weird thing about this, right? So that's where Mars is right now, which is why I kind of can feel like there's some hesitancy in the universe when it comes to taking action and just constantly weighing out different options. The good thing about Mars and Libra, because like I said, just because it's in detriment doesn't mean that it's completely bad. The good thing about it is that we can think before we jump, especially with the Sun and Mercury here in Virgo in the 12th house to Libra. So especially if we come from a spiritual standpoint, when it comes to this, then we definitely, we don't have to just get stuck and constantly worrying, we don't have to get so trapped up in the human ego, if you will. And I don't think the ego is even a bad thing, but in, I guess, the human understanding of things. If we get too caught up in the human understanding of things, talking about that 12th house to the Libra Mars, right? If we get too caught up in the human understanding of things and trying to overanalyze things, then yeah, we can definitely get stuck. But if we take at it from like a spiritual standpoint and realize that we are kind of going through a recalibration anyways, and we trust the universe, then, you know, we can make an informed decision and move forward in a powerful way, right? And connect with other people, because Libra is about relationships. So this could be a great opportunity, you know, with this, that like, you know what, are there certain actions that you can take that will connect you with certain individuals that, you know, could have a positive influence on your life? You know what I'm saying? So, especially since right now we are in this very big observational mode, anyways, right? Now, of course, the king comes over to Chiron here at 18 degrees of Aries. This is about, yeah, well, do you have the courage to still express and be who you are? Do you know who you are? Do you have that courage to express it despite if it feels weird or awkward? Are you going to embrace the fact that your superpower is being able to read 1,000 pages in 5 minutes and fully comprehend it? Or are you going to, like I said, just continuing this analogy from the weekend, are you going to like look at that superpower with disdain and be like, how can I even apply that? I can't be a superhero with that. Maybe there's other ways to apply that superpower. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the thing that we have to consider. The other interesting thing about the sun is that it actually is going to be trining this midpoint between Jupiter and Uranus. And this is kind of interesting, right? Now, Uranus is at 22 degrees. It came off the 23rd degree, but, you know, the sun will be trining this midpoint area. So once again, you know, you get, like I said, the harmonic of 9 energy, and then the fact that Libra is included in that is pretty interesting. Now we're trying to kind of strike the balance and kind of illuminate this midpoint between Uranus and Jupiter. Jupiter, of course, which is offline, not really inflating more. It's more of a deflation kind of feeling when it comes to Jupiter. Or, like I said, a by invitation only as far as like the party that Jupiter is going to be throwing. And then you have Uranus, which is offline, right? So this is, that's the electricity. It's offline. So with the sun trining that midpoint, it's like, well, here's the thing. When my phone keeps doing thingies, hold on, it just keeps making sounds. Let me actually just fix that if it will let me. Oh, there we go. All right, cool. Now it doesn't have to keep going off. You guys don't hear the dun dun, but yeah. So with that sun trining that midpoint, it's like, what do you do when you're not really expanding anymore? Maybe you feel like there's some bad luck here, and the lights are off. What do? Well, you become like the sun. You become the lantern, if you will. You gotta remember, Virgo is the hermit, and the hermit's shown holding a lantern. You become the lantern in your life when it feels like, you know, maybe there's no luck, maybe things aren't expanding, you're not able to really move forward in some aspects. Maybe everything just kind of feels ordinary. Maybe you're looking for some type of fun and some type of edge. And then, of course, you have the planet of Uranus, which is offline. So the lights are out. And then trying to navigate your way in a sea of people, and everyone's sense of self-worth and even morality, I will even say in many ways, is kind of shifting, trying to find yourself in the sea of all that. How do you navigate this weird area right now? Well, it's a try. It's positive, right? But the difficult part is that it's trying a midpoint between two planets that are in retrograde. You know what I'm saying? So this is about becoming that light and becoming that lantern, even when things seem dark, even when it feels like things aren't really moving forward. And I think that's the interesting thing about this. It's almost as if we are kind of wandering about a forest and we're kind of going around in circles. Because Jupiter is retrograde, we can't even see beyond the edge of this forest, or we just feel like we're like trapped in this one little area. And the lights are off too. The lights are off too, but the sun kind of giving light to this area, we can use that lantern to navigate our way out of that forest and see that just because Jupiter is retrograde, and remember, Jupiter's technically not like moving backwards. It's just from our perception on this earth. So Jupiter is still technically moving forward, but when it's from our own perception, it brings on a little bit more like a spiritual quality. How do we move forward in a spiritual way? How do we expand in a more spiritual way, right? So that's the thing about this, is that, when we become that light, when we become that arc, that's how we navigate through these times, right? Now, we have that moon, of course, here in Leo, and it's going to make this beautiful conjunction here in Leo with Venus and Juno here at 13 degrees. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 is Uranian energy, which Uranus just happens to move to 22 degrees today, and also makes the harmonic energy with that, with the 4 degrees. Like 2 plus 2 is 4. So, and the moon, of course, will square Jupiter today, and it will square Uranus tomorrow. But I do think it's interesting how we get the 4 right here, and we also get the 4 between all of these. Once again, like I said, very positive. You're going to probably feel this nice little, pop, little boost of this Leo energy today. A Venus that's finally, starting to gain some speed. It's off that 12 degrees. It's at 13 degrees now. It's moving forward. A moon conjuncting Venus, which they love to be together, So Venus rules Taurus. Moon is exalted in Taurus. So they love to be there, right? And we have, of course, Juno here. Of course, you have the planet of marriage, but I like to see it as the asteroid, but also see it as like commitments. And also, you got to think about this. Juno was a regular chick, and then Jupiter married her, and then she became a goddess, right? So this is like, Juno can also represent in many ways how we upgrade our life, through our relationships and through our connections, how we can upgrade our life through our commitments too. So this is a beautiful, where it's like, now it's like, okay, Venus is finally moving forward. Yes, she's still in shadow, but she's starting to definitely feel better about herself. The moon here giving some nice positive energy to it. Now it's like, it's coming to like a very, very, very slight sliver. Barely see it. It's almost in its balsamic phase within 30 degrees of the new moon. But you still have Juno here too. So this is about like, we can definitely upgrade our life in a very Leo way, seizing the day, finding that creativity, finding that joy, expressing it, and upgrading in that way. Very, very positive energy despite everything that's going on. This might be one of the few days where I'm like, maybe go for a relationship or something like that. Or maybe you actually pop the question today. Maybe you ask someone to be your boyfriend or girlfriend, or you ask someone to be exclusive or whatever like that. You know what I mean? So that's like, so I feel like I've been with my wife since the end of 2012, right? So I haven't been out in the dating pool in a while. So I know things are a lot different. And it's like, back then, people would, become boyfriend or girlfriend a lot faster and be exclusive. Nowadays, people take forever to become exclusive, But I think it's by actually that exclusivity that, at least in my opinion, I think it's through that exclusivity that we really find our power, because that's the thing about it, and if you find yourself as someone that kind of like jumps around, whatever like that and stuff, that's cool. You do you. But I really do feel like you only really unlock your potential when you're really committed to that one person. At least that's what I feel. Because they're going to unlock certain areas. They may activate certain areas of your own chart and of your own like your own personality and who you are. They're going to be able to unlock certain areas that, of course, is going to provide that reflection, if you will. And then you can actually work on those areas. But if you keep hopping around, it's like you're just getting a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here. You're not really going to get someone that really finds that deeper button, and not like a bad button, but that deeper button that kind of pushes and activates you in some way that can only be activated when connecting with a conscious lover that is also upgrading their life through their joy and their passion, right? when you bring two people together like that, they are both seeking to upgrade themselves in that way, and especially if it comes from a more like if we're going off of solar houses, with the sun being in the first house, they're in the 12th house to the sun. So definitely even comes from like a more spiritual aspect of this as well. So when you could find someone to like upgrade your life because you're both upgrading your life, and it's like it said, like even though it's Venus and Leo, and Venus and Leo likes to go for like more of the shiny things, she still is in a shadow period. So this is definitely a time, and it's at 14 degrees. 1 plus 3, well, not 14. It's at 4 degrees Uranian. So it's random. It's different. It's a little bit more unique. I'm not saying that Leo can't be unique, but it's a little bit more unique. It's a little bit more even out there, maybe even bizarre. Like some of you guys may find yourself, if you're single and looking, you could fall for someone, or you could find yourself developing crush or feelings for someone that maybe outside of what you normally go for. You know what I mean? And that's probably the square to Jupiter, right? You got the square to Jupiter that this is all going down with. And like I said, Jupiter it's not going forward. It's retrograde, right? So it's more deflationary. And like I said, this is more of like I said, it feels like a by invitation only kind of deal. When it comes to, like, when Jupiter's going forward, everyone's invited because the party's going to be great. If you bring everyone, you never know who's going to come. When Jupiter's retrograde, this is by invitation only, right? So I think this is going to be an interesting thing. I think the moon with Venus in Juno is going to be very positive. Now, if you are in a relationship, this is definitely a great day to just show your appreciation for that person. Do something, do like a random act of kindness, do a random act of like service for them. Show them that you really care. Show them that you love them. Show them that you appreciate them. I think that will go very, very far today. If you are in a relationship, whether you're married or you've just been dating for a bit, I think that'll go a long way. Or, if you're single and looking, you know what I mean? Or like there's that one person that, that you're kind of fancying, whatever like that, shoot, see if they want to hang out today, or shoot them a text message. Still do that act of service, do that act of kindness. Show them that you appreciate them. If you're single and not looking, do this for yourself, right? Because you can only really, upgrade your life with someone until like you decide to upgrade yourself, right? So do something nice for yourself as well. If you're single and you're not really looking, you don't really care to look right now, do something nice for yourself, right? So this moon, of course, will come to the square with Jupiter, and this is going to be, well, at 7:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time exactly is when that's going to be happening. So this happens pretty much as the sun is moving to the 19th degree and pretty much making that quincunx over to Chiron exactly. So we got a quincunx exactly that's happening and a moon squaring Jupiter that's exactly happening. Now, like I said, the sun, there's actually some mutual reception here between the sun and Chiron. I do follow Christopher Witecki over at Serious Joy and stuff, and I think he's a fantastic astrologer. He says that he believes that Chiron rules Virgo, and I'm like, what? I can actually see that. And the sun is exalted in Aries, so there's some mutual reception here, especially considering the fact that they are so close to that 19th degree where the sun likes to be at. So even though this is a quincunx, it's like, well, and remember, the Chiron is a key. So the glyph of it's a key. This is where we can really unlock our power today. Even if things feel weird, even if things seem austere, this may come to the fact where someone may acknowledge some aspect or facet of you that you probably should be more proud of. That you probably should be like, oh yeah, I mean, this actually is a really cool superpower that I have, and maybe even open up your mind to that, right? The moon squaring over to Jupiter, the moon is in the decan ruled by Jupiter, and the moon is exalted in Taurus where Jupiter is. So even this square right here, even though it is going to be a challenging aspect, there's some nice mutual reception. Mutual reception means that they like the house the other planet is in, and vice versa. So there's some mutual reception here. They like that placement. They can see eye to eye. 1 + 5 is 6, which comes down to the Venus energy, right? Where we just had that nice conjunction of the moon and Juno and Venus all squaring over to Jupiter. Like I said, the way that this becomes a challenging day is if you don't trust your heart. Honestly, you don't trust your heart, you don't trust your joy. That's the way that this becomes difficult. Can you trust your heart even when things feel like they're not expanding? When they actually are expanding, but can you trust your heart when it feels like things aren't expanding? Just because it's happening more in the internal world and more in the spiritual sense, can you trust yourself despite the fact that it may not feel like things are expanding really much right now when it comes to Taurus energy? Money, finances, self-worth, value. I'm saying that this is a time where we have to kind of dig deep and find our resolve and realize that we are far much more powerful than we are. We are far much more powerful than we realize. We are capable of much more than we realize, and that everything that you have gone through has fortified you for this moment. That's not to say that don't take the time to feel your emotions. If you need to cry, cry, let things out. But you have survived 100% of your worst days. Think about that. So you are fortified. You are built for this moment. Believe it or not, like you're here right now. You're watching this. We are living in historic times. We are living in historic astrological times, and you can see these things starting to play out in the world with all of the things that are happening. The sheer amount of awareness that we have, can seem like a lot. This is why it's great when planets go retrograde, right? Because otherwise we wouldn't be able to, if planets never went retrograde and we were just like constantly getting more and more and more of that energy and being so tethered to the external world and so aware of everything too, like we wouldn't have time for reflection or anything like that. That would be crazy. We were just being getting bombarded with waves and waves and waves of energy without taking the time to reflect. That's what retrogrades do. They help you to reflect and grow internally so that when the planets come forward, we can apply what we learned or didn't learn, because both of them happen. Sometimes you don't learn things and you still apply them. That's why the meditation for today is to reflect and consider where your actions are taking you, or leading you to. That's the thing about this. So let's be grateful that we have a bunch of planets in retrograde in a very historic astrological time. If we start seeing things play out in the world with natural disasters, which have always happened, but we're more aware of them now, but natural disasters, wars, political upheaval, all kinds of crazy things. Let's be grateful that we have all these planets retrograde. Let's be grateful that we have all of these planets in Gatorade, right? And I'm going to say this, I'm going to coin this, right? Planets are in Gatorade when they are retrograde, like in this red. When they are in their shadow, planets are in Powerade because they're gaining their power. I'm coining that, right? So Venus right now is in Powerade. It's the only planet that's in Powerade because everything else is retrograde. That's so Venus is in Powerade right now, and it will be in Powerade until it hits 28 degrees of Leo. So let's take that understanding and recognize our power when it comes to that energy, when it comes to that Leo energy, how we can receive our heart, receive our joy, receive our creativity, and express it. I think today's going to be a beautiful day. I think it'll be a very powerful day that, even when things may seem a little weird right now, slow, maybe you feel a little off-kiltered, a little off-centered, that you can still come back, take a deep breath, come back to center, be the lantern, be the light that you wish to see in the world. Let's get into the cards. All right. Switching the decks up for this week. All right, let's see what we got. Your boy forgot to buy new razors. Look at that. The hermit. And I'm still shuffling, but he just happens to be halfway through. Actually, shit, fuck it. These are the cards of the day. Oh, wow, look at that. There's a reason why I stopped on that, because on one half, we got the hermit card. I didn't mean to do this, y'all. And then we also have the moon card here, too. I really didn't mean to do that. I really didn't mean to do that. But I talked about these cards in the forecast for today. So I really don't need to say much more about them. I'll cut the deck that the hermit is on, though. Oh, well, we have the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups, and it's in reverse, too. So that's the thing about this. You know, the Three of Cups, you know, normally it's about like having, like sharing a fun time with people, like the party, celebration, you're cheersing, kanpai, you know what I'm saying? But it being in reverse, maybe we don't feel like we can really cheers to anything right now. But I think this is going to be a time to find something to toast to today. You know what I mean? And just because it's reversed doesn't mean that you can't go to the party. Maybe don't overdo it. You know what I'm saying? So you don't wake up with like a hangover the next day. But find something to toast to today. Find something to appreciate today. And definitely, you know, whether it's just with another person, like a lover or like family members or friends, or even if it's just yourself, find something to toast to and appreciate today. You know, it may not be, it may not necessarily be obvious and in your face something to appreciate today with the Three of Cups in reverse, but that doesn't mean that you still can't have that party, and that doesn't mean that the party has stopped too. Like I said, Jupiter retrograde is by invitation only. I'll cut the moon deck. Why not? Oh, we got the Wheel of Fortune. We got the Wheel of Fortune. It was reversed, but you could read this either way. So it's like, yeah, fortune can definitely be had here. It can definitely be yours, but you have to be willing to address and embrace what you already have right now and just how powerful things are. You know, you have all the tools that you need. You have the people in your life that believe you. You know what I'm saying? So you got to believe in yourself too. You know what I mean? So that's the thing about this. I don't think there's not no one right now. It's just completely on an island right now. No one is completely on an island. Everyone has someone that they can lean on, someone that they can trust, someone that they love, someone that loves them. Even your enemies, even the people that you hate the most, have someone that loves them. Think about that. Now, you probably are like, how can someone love them? Well, someone loves them. So nobody is on an island right now. All right. We have the dolphin. Kind of the perfect card for this, honestly. You know, because dolphins are in pods, whatever. Like, they're very intelligent creatures. Tune into the rhythm of your breath and find stillness and patience. I think that's very interesting too. You know, because dolphins do have to come up to breathe and stuff. But this is like tuning into the rhythm of your breath, tuning into the rhythm of, you know, this reality and this world and how the planets breathe and the transits, how it's a cycle. It's math, like you said. Like Mercury will retrograde in all Earth signs this year. It's a math. You know, Venus goes through, you know, a 8-year cycle, like a 40-year cycle, where it will retrograde in the same house or the same sign every 8 years. It's a cycle. It's a breath. It's a rhythm, right? So, or how the moon will conjunct the sun every 30 days. You know, there'll be a full moon every 30 days or so. There's a rhythm. This world is about rhythm. It's about math. So tapping into that place and finding the stillness in that energy, right? Coming to the eye of the storm, if you will, and realizing that we're good, we're okay, and we can move forward. And like I said, we're not on an island, because like dolphins live in pods, right? They're very intelligent creatures. They take care of their own. They have fun and they play. They're a little savage. I'm not gonna lie, they're a little savage, just like that. They're a little horny as well, but no one is just on an island by themselves. Everyone has someone that they can communicate with. Everyone has someone that they can get along with, right? So that's going to do it for your astrology forecast today. I hope that you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. If you like a personal reading with me, beloved, you can follow the link in the description below to my website, jphoenix.com. And as always, y'all take care, stay blessed, have a wonderful Monday, and I'll see you guys on the next astrology forecast. Peace out.